Good morning. My name is Alan Mayer. I'm a retired Anglican priest, and I'm taking us through the Bible in a year. At the moment, we're looking at disaster stories and natural wonders in the Bible, and we've reached Acts chapter 16, verses 24 to 34. Here we find an earthquake being a liberating experience which frees St. Paul and his colleague Silas from jail. Having been ordered to beat and imprison Paul and Silas, the jailer threw them into this secure cell with their feet fastened in the stocks. And around midnight they were praying and singing worship songs to God, with the other prisoners listening to them, when suddenly there was an earthquake so huge that the prison's foundations were shaken. And at the same time all the doors flew open and everyone's fetters came undone. The jailer woke up and saw that the prison doors were open, and he supposed that the prisoners had escaped. He drew his sword and was about to kill himself when Paul cried out loudly, "Don't do yourself any harm, we are still here." He called for lights and hurried in. Trembling with fear, he knelt down in front of Paul and Silas, and then he brought them out and said, "Gentlemen, tell me what I need to do to be saved." And they replied, "Place your trust in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved with all your family." And then they spoke the word of the Lord to the whole household. Then he took them, late as it was, and washed their wounds, and right away he and his family were baptized. And he brought them up into his house, gave them a meal, and he and his whole household were very glad that he had believed in God. This well-documented escape was reported in person to Luke by Paul and Silas. It forms a pattern with other stories Luke tells about the foundation of churches during Paul's missions to the Eastern Roman Empire. The church in Philippi, in Roman-occupied Macedonia, was the first Paul founded on European soil, and Paul's letter to that church has a place of honour in the New Testament. Though prompted by a need to correct certain false teachings that had crept in, Paul's letter, written from another period in jail, is full of joy, confidence, togetherness, and perseverance in faith. This was certainly an earthquake that was strong enough partly to demolish the prison, and the walls moved enough to open all the gates and to detach the fastenings from the stocks. It feels quite different from the slightly spooky and mysterious events surrounding Peter's liberation, which we read about yesterday. Today, the story reads like a factual summary of what happened. This is a remarkable tribute to Paul and Silas, whose calm in the midst of a crisis enabled them to take advantage of the situation, not only to save the jailer's life, but also to bring salvation and relief to his family. When we bless ourselves with the peace of God which passes all understanding, we are asking for that same sense of calm to be with us when we face our crises. God is never absent, and we too can rely on him. Tomorrow we move on to our next section. We're going to be looking at the way the Bible understands creation and our place in it. We'll be doing that from days 30 to 52. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll begin that with, we'll go back to Genesis and we'll look at the first vineyard and, sadly, the first drunkard. See you tomorrow.